If you are still, for some insane reason, living in the state of California, it may be time to leave. The California legislature is currently taking up their latest bit of suicidal lunacy, a wealth tax. It would impose an annual tax of 1% on the worldwide wealth of anybody over $50 million in assets and 1.5% on billionaires. The billionaires tax would kick in next year, while the millionaires get a one-year stay. The bill would also pay private attorneys to sue affluent Californians for allegedly underreporting assets, giving them a share of the taxes. So imagine the joy of random lawyers showing up to sue you over the cost basis of your home renovations. Part-time residents would be taxed pro rata for every day they are physically in the state of California. And no, fleeing the state will not work. California will chase you down even after you leave for that final hunk you can check out, but you can never leave. So why are they doing this? Partly because California voters are consumed with rage and envy that there are people who build things instead of stealing wealth and trading it for votes, but mostly because the state of California has spent itself into an abyss with a $68 billion budget hole. Note that's not including the coming migrant crisis. To give a flavor, the state just announced free healthcare for all illegal migrants, meaning all 6.7 billion people on Earth, including free gender reassignment at taxpayer expense for every drag queen in Guatemala. That kind of virtue does not pay for itself. Now, 1.5% tax does not sound like very much, but remember, this is taxing the entire amount. So in practice, rich people grow their money about 5% per year. You can track that over on the Forbes 500. In other words, 1.5% is equivalent to confiscating almost a third of their money. It's 30% of their annual returns. That means in California, you get to pay a top rate of 51% when you earn it. That includes California's new 14% income tax. And then you effectively hand over 30% of your gains each and every year. You keep the pocket change. So what's next? Brought to you by Unchained.com. California's wealth tax is not a done deal. It still has to pass, and it will be litigated. But keep in mind, they already do effectively wealth tax your house, known as property tax. So I think there's a good chance it would stand. More important, going by the history of the income tax, they will start with the millionaires and very quickly climb down to the middle class. After all, the federal income tax itself originally applied only to the top 1% of taxpayers who paid 7% top rate. Within 5 years, it hit a 73% top rate, and today almost 2/3 of Americans pay income tax. And so most likely what comes next is a giant exodus of affluent Californians taking their businesses and their tax base with them to Florida or Texas. Meanwhile, to the extent California serves as a model for other progressive states like New York or Illinois, we could see more of these tax grabs on the way. After all, the progressive mantra is make it hard to succeed, easy to fail, because people in distress are the most obedient voters. Okay, we'll be watching. See you next time.